As with our previous video podcast on personification, today we will examine another Shel Silverstein poem. In this poem, Silverstein utilizes another form of figurative language called hyperbole. Sarah, Cynthia, Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. It filled the can, it covered the floor, it cracked the window and blocked the door. The garbage rolled on down the hall, it raised the roof, it broke the wall. At last the garbage reached so high that it finally touched the sky. And all the neighbors moved away, and none of her friends would come to play. What do you notice about the statements in this excerpt from Sarah, Cynthia, Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out? Do you think Silverstein is exaggerating a bit in this poem? So just what is a hyperbole? Hyperboles are simply exaggerations. Authors use them to heighten the effect of a statement or to emphasize an idea. Let's take a look at some hyperboles. I have a million things to do. I had a ton of homework. Or, her brain is the size of a pea. Even though it is impossible for these statements to be true, the reader understands that the exaggerations are made simply to emphasize the extent of the statements. Hyperboles are another form of figurative language that make writing more interesting and descriptive. Which statements help you, as the reader, get the extent of the idea being described? I have told you this before, or I have told you this 1,000 times. How about, I really want that new game, versus, if I don't get that new game, I will die. He is thin, or he is as skinny as a toothpick. And finally, we are tired, or we could sleep for years. Hyperboles are much more interesting than simple statements written in common language, don't you agree? In this video podcast series, we have now covered 5 types of figurative language: similes, metaphors, idioms, personification, and hyperboles. These are by no means the only forms of figurative language used by authors, but these will be a great starting point for you to start using in your own writing. So for now, remember these important points. Hyperboles are a type of figurative language. Hyperboles are exaggerated statements used to heighten effect, not used to mislead the reader, but to emphasize a point. Use hyperboles to make your writing more descriptive and interesting. And now, go figure.